video, we're going to install a relay to activate the electronic choke that I fixed in the last video. I hooked it up to the stator on the alternator, and I'm not getting the strong, steady current that I thought I'd be getting, or the voltage from the stator. I don't know if I hooked it to the wrong terminal, I don't know if I did something wrong, but I'm not recording any voltage there. And on top of that, I've read somewhere that because it's such a low source of electricity, that just driving in cold weather the cold air blowing through here can cool off the coil that's inside the choke here and make it not work like we're supposed to. So we're going to utilize we're going to come off of the starter solenoid for our 12 volt switched source. We'll also use the 12 volts that's on the starter solenoid as our main power, and we'll put a relay in here and activate that choke with the relay instead of trying to run off with the stator. So let's get that started. So the secret to our little project here is going to be just your standard multi-purpose 5-tabbed relay. This is a 30 amp relay, and then you're going to want a pigtail or a harness for it, partly because it's just easier that everything goes in together like so. You could get the spade connectors and wire them up and then hook them on individually. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that might save you a couple bucks if you don't have both of those. I was able to get this pair for $8, so that's pretty good. I'm also going to want to have a fused 12 volt source. So we're going to put this in line from our constant source that will end up being what will supply to the choke. And I just want to have a fuse on there just to protect that. So first thing we're going to do is we need to separate this and turn this into the project that we're going to need here. In fact, this doesn't need to be this long, so we'll just cut some of that off. And we can start trimming some of this back and getting this ready. That's ready. And we're also, so on this, I've got a little sticky note that I've made just to kind of an idea. So we're gonna have, if you look at it like this, I'm not using that middle terminal because that's the normally closed terminal. We don't need to use that for what we're doing here. This is the normally open. So when we put a 12 volt source here and it goes through the coil and it'll ground right there, 12 volt source will come in right here, and then we're going to go out here to the choke. So imagine coming across here for the coil and going this way for the electricity to the choke, and that's kind of what I've got illustrated here. So we can get rid of the wire for that middle terminal, and that's this orange wire here. I'm just going to cut it short and there, that'll just isolate that wire. And so, because the coil, or the relay goes this way, this post number 85 will be the ground. That'll be this guy, and I'm going to put just a ring terminal on it, and I'm just going to attach it where we're going to screw into the body of the car. We'll just mount it with a screw there. We'll just put a terminal on there and just attach that for our ground. This green wire is going to be the switched lead. This will hook up to that terminal on the starter solenoid. This yellow wire is going to go to the choke, and this red wire will go to the battery, or we'll just go to the battery side of the starter solenoid. I got ahead of myself. I don't need this to be this long, so what we'll do is we're going to cut this off. I can use the end of this as the terminal for that, where it's going to go in the solenoid, and then we'll just put this on that end. So So now this is ready to go. Again, we've got the ground that we will loop back up here and just utilize the mount for the relay. We've got our constant hot, which will become our constant source. Got a fuse line in there. This will be the switched lead, and this is going to go to the solenoid, or to the choke. We'll have to pull that wiring that I did out of the loom from last video and fix all that, but we're looking pretty good. So here's the starter solenoid. This is that constant 12 volts that we're going to need, and this terminal right here reads 12 volts when the car is on and running. That's what we're going to need for the choke. We're going to mount the relay down here on the side of this fender, or the inner fender well, so it's out of the way, but it's still close enough that I can utilize these terminals like I need to. Alright, let's drill a hole for the mount of the relay. Now we'll just chase it with the screw, make sure that the hole is correct for that mount. Okay, now we got a good ground and a mount for that relay. As you may recall from my last video, we put the hot lead for the choke on the stator terminal, and it's not working. And I don't know why, but we're going to move from here and hook it up with that relay, and it should work from there. Careful. This terminal is live. We don't want to ground it on anything. Alright, now we can go ahead and hook up the ground, which we're going to mount the relay at the same time. So we can go ahead and put this together. Alright, that looks good. So now we got a bunch of wires hanging out. We'll go ahead and we'll cover this up with some lumen stuff, but for now I just want to make sure that everything works. So we're going to go ahead and fire up the car and make sure that all the wires are in the right place. We got to put a fuse in here and then see how it comes out. Well, that was a pretty easy fix. That's what I should have done in the last video with the hot side of that choke, but I didn't realize what I was doing was incorrect. So you live and learn. There's a lot of good resources, a lot of good info out there, and there's a lot of people out there that are willing to help, and so if you're willing to listen, you can get things done right. I think I was given good info, and I was able to see a good 12 volts at that lead there, which I wasn't getting before, so I think we got it done right. I just need to clean up the wires over there. I'm gonna put some loom around that, just kind of clean it up so it's not a bunch of colored wires sticking out, so I'll do that, take care of that. But other than that, this was an easy one. Thanks for sticking with me. We'll see you in the next one. Hi, my name's Andy, and in today's video... Well, that didn't work. Where'd the screw go? Don't drop it. Oh, good job, Andy. Spaghetti. I gotta fix that, but I don't need to do that on camera. that'll take care. So this time we feel silly leaning over the hood of my car like this every time.